Fiona Lewis from Super Savvy Business with this week's podcast. And today we're going to be talking about a topic that is very hot in the online world these days. We're going to be talking about all things social media and how we can use social media to grow our businesses and increase our brand reputation. Now, today I've brought on the call with us Samantha Riley. Now, Samantha and I were talking about social media and the strategies we were using in our businesses about a week ago. And it was at that point I realized that Sam had a lot to offer when it came to giving insights on using social media for business. Now, just to give you a bit of a background about Sam, she started her first business while her friends were still at uni, and she's never looked back. Over the past 20 years, she has owned and exited multiple businesses and absolutely loves the business of business. From years of learning on the job, she has co-founded Stress-Free Business to help business owners fast-track building a profitable business while designing their businesses around their chosen lifestyle. So first of all, I'd like to welcome you to the call, Sam.
Hi, Fiona. Thanks for having me today.
Look, I'm really excited about this topic because I know you and I have really been pushing social media, not just for our own businesses, but talking about social media with our clients as well. And we were sharing ideas last week, and that's when I thought, wow, there's so much information and hints and tips that we were discussing that it really needed to be spoken about through a podcast.
Yeah, we had a great conversation, didn't we?
We certainly did.
I love social media. Yeah.
What is it that you love about social media so much?
I love that you can interact with so many people globally and on such a large scale. You know, thinking back to when I first opened my business 21 years ago, if I wanted to connect with someone, I had to pick up the phone. You know, I had to use the yellow pages or the white pages to find their phone number and pick up the phone and talk to them. So it was, you know, very one-on-one, where now I can have a conversation with people all around the world at the same time.
Yeah, and I completely agree with you. The thing is with social media is it's one of those things that I find a lot of business owners know they should be doing. They hear that people are doing it and doing it well and getting results, but they feel a bit lost in how they might implement a social media strategy for their own businesses. Do you find that's the same case for your clients?
Absolutely, yeah. For a few different reasons. One, they don't understand that there even is a strategy or what the strategy could be. And the second thing I hear, and I'm sure you hear it too, is people saying how many hours a day they're spending on social media. So not understanding how to utilize it and just spending lots of time, I call it faffing, just for hours on Facebook.
You know, I hear that exact same thing. People say to me, oh, but, you know, to do social media, it's taking me so much time. And that's when I think, okay, so really there's a big need for people to learn, you know, how to create a proper strategy around what they're doing so they're clear about what their end results are, how to then execute that, and doing it in a way that's leveraged and not going to consume hours of every day.
Absolutely, 100%.
So, I mean, one of the things I also hear, Sam, is that people say, well, I've tried that, it doesn't work. Or Facebook is just not for me in my business. I've tried it, it doesn't work. Do you hear that as well?
Absolutely, yeah. So I think that's the very, very first point that needs to be taken into consideration when you are starting out with some sort of social media strategy. And that's like, what actually is the end goal? So, you know, do you have an e-commerce site, or do you want people to opt into your blog site? And then when you know who that ideal client or who that ideal customer is, you need to figure out where they're hanging out. So you might not even have your ideal customer on Facebook. They might be on LinkedIn, or they might be on Instagram. So you really need to know what your strategy is and who you're speaking to and the kind of conversations to start before you even begin.
That's exactly right. I mean, the platforms do cater to slightly different genres and types of people. Some people are across multiple platforms, like myself. I actually enjoy all of the platforms, possibly not Twitter. That's not my thing. But then you'll get people who perhaps are more in the professional corporate world that don't tend to hang out so much in Instagram, but they're more likely to be in Google Plus or in LinkedIn groups.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely right. And you can use different social media platforms for different reasons as well. So you might be on LinkedIn to build your professional profile or a speaking profile, and then you'll be on Facebook talking with a certain type of client, and then you might be on Instagram for a different kind of client that's interested in your area of business, not necessarily to be signing up as a client or a customer.
Right. Agreed. So, Sam, I guess once people have identified what the end result is, what they're actually trying to achieve through their social media presence, what do you think is one of the next most important steps for somebody to take?
Okay, so once you've identified where your ideal client is hanging out, I'd probably the first thing I'd recommend is just starting with one platform. If you haven't been running social media accounts, just choose one platform to start with, and get that leg up and start getting used to it. And it's really about thinking about the content and the communication, the conversations that these people want to be involved with. Social media, a lot of people don't understand it as being social. So it's kind of like, you're at a party and you're speaking to people. So you need to make it social.
Yeah.
So not just posting on Facebook continually selling products or buy my thing. It's more about opening up a conversation and bringing people into your community or into your tribe. So thinking about the kinds of things that person, what do they want to see? What do they want to listen to? What do they want to read? What sort of videos do they like? And starting to get a bit of an idea of those things and posting things that our ideal clients, customers are interested in to entice them to come into that conversation.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great tip there, Sam. And what I also recommend is to have a look at some of your main competitors, people who are within your niche. See what platforms they're using. So an easy way to do that is to perhaps go to the website of somebody that is within your niche and that you consider to be doing well and being successful, and look for the social media boxes or buttons on their site and click on them. Go to their pages. See how many followers they've got. And if they've got quite a lot of followers, then start drilling into the types of posts that they're posting. Think about how regularly they're posting, the types of posts that they're adding, which ones are getting the most likes, shares, comments, in other words, the best engagement. And from that, it can give you a bit of an idea of what your market is interested in. Look at the conversations, the types of words they're using. And I find that that's a really good place to start. If you're feeling a bit stuck and you think, well, I don't even know what to post, I don't know what they're going to be interested in. See what they're already interested in other areas.
That's absolutely spot on, Fiona. Those bigger companies that have got 20,000 or 30,000 likes or even more have already spent the money on the marketing and already done the research. So use their research and leverage it into your business.
And I tend to keep a spreadsheet when I'm doing this process. So what I'll do is I'll create a spreadsheet. I'll list maybe the top 5 companies that I want to do a competitor analysis on. I'll make a record of the amount of likes they've got, how often they post, the types of posts they're posting, which platforms they're using, the type of engagement they've got, all of those sorts of things. And once you've got it on a spreadsheet, you'll very quickly see if there is a pattern going on. You'll see who the top performers are and, basically which ones are the ones that you should be paying attention to. And once you've done that, then you can start jotting down ideas on a separate spreadsheet for what sorts of posts you're going to be creating. And I don't know about you, Sam, but I like to sort of have regular sort of things that happen on a weekly basis. So you might have a Tuesday tip, or, every Wednesday you're posting a link to a blog, or Fridays you might have a fun fact Friday or something like that, just because then your community, you sort of get used to the types of things that you're posting. But then you have your ad hoc stuff, like you might post a link to something that's happened, industry news or something like that. So there's all the unexpected stuff, but then there's that regular content that people get used to enjoying with you.
We also do